Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Colin, back at it again, finally, with another episode 33 of A New Direction, the podcast where I talk about all sorts of things and give my opinion on a variety of different topics and whatnot. You're probably wondering where I've been, and I do have quite a bit of explaining to do. I do have a good few amount of excuses made up here, so whether or not you believe me, well, that's up to you. But I am back from hiatus, at least for now, whatever that means. But the format will probably be a little different. Opposed to doing 3 episodes a week, I'm probably only going to do 1 or 2 just because life is a little more busy than it was in the past. But like usual, I am going to do the music recommendations. Starting off today, I'm going to be recommending the album Pale Swordsman by Kekt A Rock, probably butchering his name. And he's Ukrainian, actually, so my heart goes out to him right now. He's living in Poland, but a lot of his friends are still in Ukraine, so hopefully everything will work out okay over there, and it will all come to pass. But the album, Pale Swordsman, absolutely excellent, really. I would honestly give it a very solid 8 or 9 out of 10 here. It's definitely more fleshed out than his first album, which the name slips my mind right now. But Pale Swordsman, it's a black metal album for the most part, but there are a few tracks that are much slower, much more intimate, I would say, almost kind of a heart-wrenching type sound. A lot of melancholy acoustic and singing style parts on those tracks. And really, I don't want to spoil anything about this album because it's honestly really worth the listen if you're a fan of black metal. So I'll kind of leave the track recommendations up to y'all because I think it's very different for every person. Devin, my best buddy, actually recommended me this album, and I listened to it. It took me some time to get around to it, but I did listen to it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so I'm recommending it to y'all, and hopefully y'all will enjoy it the same way that I did. But with that being said, that's the music recommendation. We're going to dive right in. So updates on kind of what's been going on. Where have I been? So the last episode, 32, came out in December. And if I recall, it was like the last, like a Friday episode, if I want to say. I'm not quite sure if I'm right about that. But it was like like the last episode that I had recorded for that week. And directly after that episode came out, my entire family got COVID. My mom and my dad both came down with COVID. And naturally, because I live at home, I also had to quarantine. So I was down for 2 weeks, and I felt sick. I actually tested negative for it when I got my COVID test. However, I still had a lot of symptoms. My taste and smell went, although I would say it was not nearly as bad as the first time I had COVID, which was a confirmed positive case. But my taste and smell kind of went away. I was very under the weather, felt very sick, was very exhausted and tired, and just had no energy. And so following that, it was a big hiatus for me, really. I would say that was kind of what got me out of recording the podcast episodes. And so from there on, it was kind of like, well, I can't really do it because I'm sick and I don't want to sound, bad over the microphone. But, that kind of just turned into me not doing the podcast. And I do want to apologize for that. I know some of y'all were probably looking forward to those episodes and they never came. But alas, we are back. So the COVID was what really sparked everything. And then going into the next year, coming here into 2022 New Year's, my school started back up. The Christmas break ended, and so I had to go back to school. And being in college, that was new classes and whatnot. So I kind of got very sidetracked. I had that. I was working a lot. And between, being sick and having my family down, and then also having to go back to school and having to work, I ended up getting promoted to a manager role at Firehouse. However, I do no longer work there at this point. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but that job, fortunately, I would say for me, is over. But with that being said, when one door closes, another one opens, and so I'm got some more opportunities lined up that I'm considering. And so, yeah, I mean, I would always encourage all of y'all, if you're feeling some sort of way about where you work or your job or anything, it'll come to pass, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, keep your head up. Eventually, the time will come and you will move on to a better opportunity. But, yeah, like I said, between work and school and having been sick, the podcast really kind of went on the back burner. And I had also gone through some other stuff in my life, in my personal life, that was a little challenging for me. I was still getting over some situations and whatnot, and going to the gym. I had talked about that, I think, on the podcast before, and I actually went to the gym today, fun fact. I absolutely destroyed my arms, so I'm probably going to be in awful pain again. I went last week and was literally unable to move my arms and sleep correctly for like a week. Like, the second and third day was like awful. I literally was in so much pain, like it was bad. And yeah, that was the gym. But I think that now that I've kind of gotten into a place here in life where I'm a little more, I don't know, I've got more free time on my hands, I guess. I've got a little more time to spare. I do definitely want to start up the podcast, and doing content creation is definitely something I enjoy doing. I love talking to y'all, even if it's not like I'm actually talking to you, but I do try to make it as conversational as I can. And I enjoy doing this, so I would like to try to stick with it here. But like I said, it will be a slightly different schedule, and the format may even be a little different. I might experiment and change, add some gameplay rather than a face cam, or do like a gameplay with the face cam, or however I'm going to do it. But I do want to spice it up a little bit. I know the format has definitely been around for a while here, 33 episodes in. But yeah, with that being said, that pretty much covers like the majority of the like overview of my updates as far as where I've been. I do have some other specific things here that I'm going to talk about that I did, but I'm very excited to talk about the last one. So we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. But with that being said, I do have a funny story to go into here that occurred. This actually occurred at the beginning of December, so it was before that last episode was recorded, and I could have made a video about it back then talking about this, but I wanted to wait until the fallout was over, everything was done and in the past, before I really shared my experience. But with that being said, we're going to dive right in. I got a speeding ticket, and it was bad. It was a very bad speeding ticket. So, as y'all know, I drive a 2003 Mustang GT, 4.6 liter V8. It's got plenty of horsepower and torque to get you in trouble, which I found out very easily. But I believe it was like the 4th or I think it was the 4th of December, I want to say. I was coming home from school. I had to go and get some gas. And I was leaving the gas station. I came back down this highway. It's like it's a technically a 4-lane road, but it's got a median, like a big median in the middle. So it looks like a highway. And it's very common to go fast on this road. And it was early in the morning. My class was an AM class, so I was done by like 9 o'clock. So I was really, it was really early in the morning, and I was done with school, and I was ready to go. So I went and got my gas, and as I'm coming back by the school, like as I'm coming back that way, there is a hill, right? So I was like going up the hill. Like it's a hill that goes up and then it goes down, and it's a very long kind of descending slope to the bottom. And then once you get to the bottom, it flattens out, and the school campus is down there, and the school campus is off the side of the road. And so I'm going up this hill, and naturally I decide I'm going to do a pull. There's nobody around really. There is like a car or two, a truck in front of me. And I went around it, which we'll talk about that. But, yeah, I did a pull. I was in second gear. And for those of you who have had a New Edge Mustang GT, The gears are very long stock. I have the stock. I think it's 327 gears. So the gears are very long, and so this second gear, like I'm doing this pull like forever. Like I'm just revving the car out forever, and I'm going really fast. Like by the time I'm done in second gear in my car caps at like 65 ish. So I go pretty much all the way up in second. I go to 5,000, so pretty much near the top. It redlines at 58. So I grab third, and as I'm at this point, I'm over the hill. I've crested the hill, and I'm going down. So naturally, I grab third, and I'm doing, I'm on the throttle. Now I'm not. I want to make it very clear. I'm not flooring the car. Like I'm not like wide open, balls to the wall, wide open throttle. I'm like revving it out, and it's I don't know, I'd say maybe like half or 3/4 throttle. So I'm going fast, but like I'm not wide open. But the car is making a lot of noise, obviously. So it sounds like I'm going insanely fast. And for those of you who have the new Edges, y'all know they are much louder than they are fast. But yeah, I'm coming down the hill, and I grab third, and I start to start to lay into it. And that's when I look in my rear view, and lo and behold, there was an undercover Dodge Charger state trooper, no less, who was behind me on the road. And I noticed him before I did the pull, and y'all are probably like, "What? Why are you so stupid? Why would you do that?" But when I looked in the rear view, he was far away. Like, he was a good distance away. Like, I was coming up this hill, and he was back like a good half mile maybe, and he was coming down the hill that leads to where the upslope I was doing the pull on. And I seen his headlights when I started the pull, but I didn't really think much of it, which in hindsight was very stupid. I mean, everybody knows Chargers are undercover for the most part, so yeah, I don't know why. I was just not thinking that day. But I look in my rear view, and the cop is coming, like he's hauling ass, and the lights are on and everything, and I'm like, damn, like, I've never been pulled over before. That was the first time I've ever been pulled over. And so yeah, I mean, I immediately, like, I got over, didn't use an indicator. Important to note, I did not use my turn signal when I got over, and I got over in the median as quickly as I could, came to a full stop, dropped the car in neutral, and just stopped, got everything that I needed, my registration, my license, and whatnot. And the cop comes comes walking up to my window, and he's he doesn't really say much. He just tells me that I was going 78 into 45, which is just, yeah. I mean, when he said that, my heart, I was just like, oh no. And I didn't really think I was going that fast because, like I said, the car is a lot louder than it is fast, and I wasn't in third gear for a long time. Like, I barely pulled into it. And so, with my second gear topping out at 62 to 65, barely pulling in third gear, I don't really feel like I was going that fast. And even now, I don't really feel like I was going the 78 that he claimed I was. But that is what he said I was doing. And, I mean, maybe he clocked me at that, and Goose is a lot faster than I thought. But yeah, he says I'm going 78 to 45. He takes my stuff, and he was very chill. Like, all things considered, the cop was very chill with the situation that was going on. I mean, I was going very over the speed limit. And, like I said, there was nobody around me, and I think maybe that played a role in it. But, he came back to the car, and he just was like, I wrote you 2 tickets today, one for the failure to indicate, which I was like, what, are you serious? And then the speeding ticket, obviously, which was a 6-point ticket, really bad. That's half of your driver's license in South Carolina. So I was in a pickle, really. And he didn't give me any leeway whatsoever. He wrote me for the full 78 to 45, and he told me, he was like, you can't be doing that. You will kill somebody. And obviously he's very right. And for anybody who's watching this, do not do what I did. I obviously learned a very valuable lesson. I don't do that. I don't even do pulls in my car like that anymore. And for the best, I mean, that saves me gas, and I still get to hear the sweet engine. But, I'm not at risk of doing something stupid and, causing an accident or getting another ticket, most importantly. Well, I guess the accident is most important, but the ticket, important as far as my insurance goes. So, yeah, I mean, he got me fair and square, but it doesn't end there. My court date was like a month out. Like I got pulled at the beginning of December, and my court date was in January, like midway through. So I had to wait a long time. And so, I drove home. I called my mom and told her what happened, and I was really scared because I thought my dad was gonna be like really pissed off. But he was actually I thought it was pretty funny. I think it was very stupid, obviously, but it's one of those stories that I have to tell now. But yeah, he was obviously very supportive and was not angry like I thought, and same goes for my mom. And it was all fair and square. I didn't speed, and I still don't speed anymore. But I went the full month without doing anything stupid, kept working and doing what I was doing. And I go to court. And so when I go to court that morning, it's early. It's like I want to say 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. maybe even. It was a very early court date. And I had to go to the county justice center, which has like the jail and everything. So, I'm like walking in here, and it's me and my dad. And there's a whole bunch of people in this in coming to this traffic courts session, because obviously that's how the cops will do it. They schedule it all for the same day. And so there's a lot of people in here, and people my age, people older than me, people younger than me. There was a guy who was there who had like 7 tickets. Like, I don't know what was wrong with his vehicle, but apparently it was not street legal or whatever, and he got pulled and got a bunch of tickets. But there was a guy there that actually, the guy who had the 7 tickets, he when the state trooper arrived, the guy who pulled me over and all the rest of these people, when he arrived, the guy with like the 7 tickets went over and talked to him, and the cops started like reducing it, like writing stuff on the tickets and getting the reductions and getting some of them even thrown out. The cop was like, I'll give you some leeway here. And that is apparently what is supposed to happen at traffic court. If you want to try to get a reduction without going and trying to fight it in front of a judge, you can talk to the officer ahead of time and see if he'll give you any sort of reduction. And so the cop comes in. He's like, I got to go set this down real quick. I'll be right back. So he goes out. He goes into like this door at the end of this hallway, and he comes out, and I like immediately walk up to him. I'm like the first person to go talk to this guy after the dude with the 7 tickets or whatever. And I walk up to him, and I just have it in my hand. I had both of them. I had the speeding ticket in first, and I just walked up to him, and I was like, is there anything you can do about a reduction for this, officer? And he just takes a look at it. And he's like, yeah, I can do 2 points and $75. I was like, what? I was in awe. I couldn't even believe it. He reduced my 6-point ticket, 78 and a 45, to a 10 and under speeding ticket, which is only 2 points. My insurance didn't even go up. And the ticket was $75. The failure to indicate was no points. That was a $20 fine. I think it was, So all in all, like after it was all said and done, I only paid like $100 for doing something really stupid. So I got off really lucky, especially considering that he was a state trooper. And, most people will say that state troopers are, a little less nice, I guess, than city cops. So all things considered, I got off scot-free. I mean, a 2-point ticket kind of sucks, but I'll take it. I mean, they'll be off my license in like 3 years. So as long as I don't do anything else like that again, I should be okay. But yeah, that was the story of my first speeding ticket. Was very terrifying, was very nerve-wrenching, and I can't lie, I will always remember the feeling of looking in the rear view and seeing those lights. Like, it's one of those things I don't know if you'll ever forget. It was like your first ticket and whatnot. Like, I don't think I'll ever forget that. But that pretty much covers the speeding ticket story. That was something I really wanted to talk about because, it's been over for a long time now, but... another thing here, the next topic is the Mayhem concert that I went to. So as you know, Mayhem is I got the hoodie on, Death Crush. Mayhem is my favorite band right now, and they're a black metal band from Norway. Most people know them for their very controversial history, which I'm not going to go into at this point, but just know that they have been through a lot as a band. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in their time. And so they played in Charlotte. So I naturally had to go see it. It was one of those things. It's like it's like a once in a lifetime almost kind of opportunity. I mean, these people are getting old. They're in their mid late 50s now. So as far as touring goes, they might not have a long time left to go. At least some of the members, being that some of them are the originals. They're probably not going to be touring for a whole lot longer. Maybe another few years, and there's no telling with everything going on in the world right now when they'll be able to come back to the United States. So I took the opportunity and went to go see them in Charlotte, and my oh my, was it a fantastic concert. Probably the best metal show I've ever been to. I mean, it was just like the heaviness was unmatched by any band I've ever seen live. And their opener was a band called Midnight, who I had never heard of. They gave me kind of old school black metal vibes, kind of like Venom, Bathory, that older, like thrashy inspired black metal first wave type vibe. But I mean, they were really good. It really set the stage. But then Mayhem just came out and they just destroyed. Like, it was incredible. They played all the classics, you know, Freezing Moon, Life Eternal, Pagan Fears, Buried by Time and Dust. They played Death Crush. You know, all of the main, like, popular songs from their old times, as well as some of their new tracks as well off their newest album and the new EP that they put out, like, last year, I want to believe. So I believe I recommended that, actually, the EP, in one of the first few episodes of this podcast. But yeah, they played some of the tracks off of that, and they did like one of the covers and whatnot. It was really, really good. I mean, it was an excellent show. They played for like an hour and a half. And honestly, I would definitely recommend all of y'all go see Mayhem live if possible. And the tour that they were doing with Midnight, there was Watain was actually supposed to play. Watain is a black metal band from Sweden. They've been around, I believe, since the 90s, so a little newer, considerably newer than Mayhem, I guess. But they were unable to get visas, from what I heard. Like, they had gone through the same visa office that they had always done for their tours, and they were unable to actually get approved this time. I believe they had gone through the same office like 7 or 8 times before and never had any trouble, but it just so happened that I guess this time, their first big North American tour in a long time, they were unable to get their visas. And so I was a little disappointed about that. I mean, I was excited to see what they were going to bring to the table as far as performing live, but maybe one day I'll get to see them in the future as well. But Mayhem was absolutely amazing. I would highly recommend anybody who is a fan of that style or a fan of metal in general, really, just to go see them. I mean, it's very loud and noisy, but it's classic, you know. They're a classic band. I mean, they've been around since they were founded in '84, so I mean they've been around for a long time, and people are probably pretty familiar with their history and whatnot, and heard about all the crazy stuff that went down back in the '90s, the early '90s with them. But I mean, they were just excellent. I mean, they killed it. And my friend Devin, who shout out to Devin, I mentioned him already, but he did not go, which I couldn't really believe it at first. You know, he told me he didn't really want to go because it wasn't the original lineup, which is, you know, what I mean, the original lineup, their music, in my opinion, is the best of the Mayhem stuff. Although I also like Wolfslayer Abyss, which is the EP that followed, like the first EP that followed all the crazy stuff that went down. But yeah, I think that Devin really missed out, actually, because he didn't go. He said it, like, since it wasn't the original lineup, he didn't want to see it. And I was like, are you crazy? And you know, as soon as Freezing Moon, when they started playing that, they did they played the sample of Dead's vocals where he's like, when it's cold and when it's dark, you know, the freezing moon can obsess you. They played like his vocal line or whatever of him saying that, and then they just went right into the song. It was like tss, 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 boom, and it was awesome. It was so heavy, and like that's Devin's favorite song on like by them, really, Freezing Moon, and so he missed that. He missed it. And I recorded like almost all of it. Like I had my phone up and everything, but my phone ran out of space right when the guitar solo started. I was so mad, but I still recorded it for him, and I showed it to him when I got back and saw him next. Like it was like before work, and he was just like, "Damn it, I missed out." And I was like, "I really can't believe that you didn't want to go to that." But hopefully next time, like I said, if they do play back in Charlotte, I will definitely be taking him, and he will finally get to experience it as well. But yeah, on top of the Mayhem concert, I also went to go see Deafheaven in March, like early March. And Deafheaven is a band who I've talked about before, had a huge impact on my guitar playing and just my skills as a musician in general. Had it not been for Deafheaven, I really don't think that I would be the musician that I am today. I mean, learning all of Sunbather on guitar really set like a new precedent for my playing, and just yeah, was a big goal for me learning that whole album, and I did. It was my biggest musical accomplishment at the time, and I'm grateful for their music and for what I learned by learning it. And seeing them live is always a pleasure. But they played with Midwife and Holy Fawn, which were excellent acts as well. Midwife was a single, like it was like a single lady with a guitar, and she had a microphone, and her microphone was like an old, it was like a rotary phone, but it not like the bass, but like the actual phone part, and it was like plugged in somehow, and she was singing into it like it was like her microphone, and it had this really, really unique tone, because it's an old school kind of microphone. It had a very unique sound, and I really enjoyed that. But Holy Fawn was also standout, I would say. I almost would say, like, I preferred Deafheaven, but Holy Fawn was up there with them as far as the music and performance. I mean, they brought an unprecedented level of energy. It was incredibly heavy just the whole way through. The songs were good and catchy, and just the band and themselves were really into it, and the energy was enormous. I mean, there was so much. I mean, I don't know. It was insane. You could have charged batteries with the amount of energy going through that venue when they were playing. But yeah, Deafheaven played, and I actually got a souvenir from that show because me and Devin did go with me to that one. We stood right at the front, and Shiv, who is one of their guitarists, was right in front of me, like literally, like I could like reach up and almost touch him. And so I was sitting there, and at the end of the show, he gave me his set list notes, and I have it over there. I'll probably put like a picture of it in the video, and I might forget, but it was a piece of paper, and it had like their set list on it, and he had like some notes on it that he had written down the different effects that he needed to use for the songs, and had his name at the top, and everything was really awesome. And he pretty much just handed it to me. Like, I don't even know, like at the end of the show, like he reached it out, and like he pretty much just handed it straight to me. Like I grabbed that. I grabbed it so fast. Like I snatched it. Nobody had a chance of getting that but me. And like Devin was the one that pointed it out, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he actually like handed that to me. So Shiv, if you're watching this, shout out to you. I appreciate the setlist notes. I have them over there. They're like on my shelf on my wall. But yeah, those are the concerts that I've gone to since the last episode that I've done. But that transitions us here into the final topic, which is also music related and also something I'm very, very excited about. I will actually be playing a real concert at a real venue, like a live show with my brother's band Acid. Shout out to them. If you haven't listened to their latest album, Cyclicality, which I recommended for my first or second episode, highly recommend it. It's excellent work. Definitely their most ambitious and darkest sounding album to date. And we're going to be playing some songs from that, as well as 2 songs from some of their older albums as well. And it's going to be a real show. It's going to be in my hometown at a venue in like the downtown area. And I'm really excited. I honestly could not be more excited about it. And if you're actually interested in coming, just hit me up, leave a comment, and I'll get in touch with you privately, and we can discuss the details of that. I will say, as of right now, there are no dates confirmed yet. It's probably going to be in July, but there's no dates really confirmed as of this point yet, just because the venue is just now reopening pretty much after COVID. So they're trying to get everything set up, and they have had different changes going on. So it's just a process, but we've been rehearsing, me, Connor, and Parth. We have been rehearsing, and we also have a drummer. Just for the sake of his privacy, I'm not going to mention who he is, but he's an excellent, excellent drummer and somebody who I'm very glad and fortunate to have met. He's a very cool guy and a really great music connection to have. But yeah, we'll all be playing, like I said, in July. So I'm really excited about that. And as a band, Acid has performed live before. We played 2 shows in 2019. However, they weren't really like a show. Like, the first one was more like a practice gig, and like the only people there were like my parents and like Dustin's parents. He played the bass, and then Parth's, I think, parents were there. And we played it at like a bar that Parth's dad owned at the time. And there was like literally nobody there. Like the bartender was the only guy who was not related to any of us, pretty much. And he was a legend. Shout out that bartender. He like gave us pizza afterwards. He made it for us and whatnot. But the second show was in the same place, in the same bar, but it was like a battle of the bands kind of event. And they had a bunch of bands from like out of town travel in to play. And nobody really showed up. I mean, there was a small crowd. There was no pit. There was really barely anything going on as far as the crowd goes for that show, but it was awesome. It was fun to really be up there and play, and I played drums during those performances. This time, I'll be playing rhythm guitar on my Greco Les Paul. I'm incredibly excited to break it out and actually use it as it's meant to be used, and I'm hoping that I can make some sort of music career. I mean, I'd love to play gigs and tour and do all that stuff. I mean, it's something that has been a dream of mine for a long time, and I know it's kind of unrealistic, I guess. You kind of have to get lucky. But I would love to play gigs and play shows, and that's just really what I like to do. It's, a lot of people get nervous when they get up on stage and have to perform like that, but for me, it's very, like, innervating. That's a word, right? It gives me energy. I think innervating is a word I can use for that. But it really makes me feel like alive, like I'm up there and I'm bringing that energy that I so love to be around. When I go to concerts, the energy is like the biggest factor. Like the music is great and being so close to the band members, but the energy, the connection between the musicians and the crowd and just the vibe of being in a gig, environment. I live for that, really. It really makes me feel alive. And so to be able to be the one on stage and the one to bring that energy to the people who hopefully it sounds like we're going to have a pretty big turnout for this one. A lot of personal people that I know, a lot of friends and old coworkers and everything are going to be there. And, like I said, if anybody who's watching is in the Charlotte area and would be interested in coming, I would be more than happy to discuss that with y'all privately. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal too many details, in public like that. But a best way to reach me, and I also, I guess you can call this a shameless plug, but if you would like to reach out to me and talk to me, the best way to get in touch would be through Instagram, probably. You can DM me. My account is the same as my YouTube. It's Death by Rock with a 3. You'll be able to, follow me and see any updates about that stuff as well. Shameless plug, but drop a follow on the Instagram if you'd like. But that pretty much covers it, I would say, for this episode. The show is going to be great, and I'm excited to see what all that entails and what maybe I can do with that in the future. But, I mean, like I said, it's a few months away, and so we'll probably have some more updates in future podcast episodes regarding that. But like I said, with that being said, that pretty much covers it, I would say, for episode 33 here of A New Direction. I just want to reiterate how sorry I am about the hiatus and how long I was gone. It was, it's something the podcast, like I said, really fell on the back burner and was something I didn't even really think about. But I've gotten to a point where I'm able to do it again, and I'm excited to see maybe what kind of changes I can make and different things I could add to it to make it more interesting. But with that being said, that pretty much covers it. I hope that you all enjoyed this episode, and I'll definitely try to get the new schedule figured out for these two so that I'm able to kind of get back on track again. But I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Follow me on Instagram. But I've been Colin. This has been A New Direction episode 33, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.